Hello, it is Sunday, fun day, December 15th, 2019. Steve Sipress hanging out with the Christmas decorations, as you can see behind me over there. My beautiful wife Michelle has gone over the top this year, and we have decorations everywhere, inside, outside, even out here by the pool. I mentioned it yesterday, but I don't think it was light enough to see. But if you can see that the statues, even by the pool, have wreaths around them. So we're definitely in the decorating mood. Anyway, in the spirit of Sunday Fun Day, I have a fun game for you that will help you keep your sanity. Even better than that, just help you break out laughing instead of being deranged, frustrated, angry, miserable, whatever. I mean, thanks to social media, you see all these crazy emotions, and people allow all these political nonsense to drive them crazy. Like, it's just politics. And, we've survived no matter who's been the president, who's in Congress, and who does what, especially entrepreneurs. We just, shift our strategy when it's a booming economy, then when it's a down economy, then when it's a struggling economy and stagnant for 8 years, and just now under Obama, and now when it's booming again under Trump, and then of course it's cyclical. It'll go down again. We just adjust our strategies. We don't get all wrapped up in all the nonsense going on. But I do have a fun game for you to play. So, and it's based on Al Capone. Now, for people who don't know, I spent about I'm glad I forget already, but I think I lived in Chicago for a little over 16 years. And Al Capone, even though he's from New York, from Brooklyn, but moved out to Chicago and kind of ruled the city, and was that's where he became public enemy number one, became the biggest gangster in the world, or at least in the U.S., and kind of ruled Chicago. And he is still, Al Capone is still, revered in Chicago, like a mythical figure. I know that early in his career, before the St. Valentine's Day Massacre, I think it was, before he started just brutally murdering his opponents, he was known as a modern-day Robin Hood, because he would commit all kinds of crimes and then donate big money to charity. Not to mention big money to politicians, of course, but that's neither here nor there. But he was known as the Robin Hood for all his donations to charity, like the drug lords do nowadays. I see like in Venezuela or whatever, they can even run for public office. They're well known around town and beloved because they sell their drugs to Americans, and they get billions of dollars, and then they give it away to all these people in these towns, and they're beloved. And still to this day, you can go around Chicago and you'll see Capone's Pizza, and there's a chain of pasta places called. What's it called? I forget, because whatever. I forget the name of it. But you go in and it's got a 1920s, roaring 20s gangster motif. They have life-size 1920s cars in there with gangsters, with machine guns, and the whole bit. And I'm like, wow, you really... Portillo's, that's what it's called. A hot dog / Chicago beef place. I don't eat either one of those. That's why I don't even remember the name. Although I did some work for one of the locations I had as a client. Helped them with their advertising. It made them a lot of money. But it was always fun to walk in there, and I'm like, people bringing their kids? And their kids are asking, Mommy, who's that with the machine gun, like, kills people for a living? Oh, that's the great baby-faced Dillinger. Oh, okay, eat your dinner now. Like, they celebrate Al Capone and gangsters in Chicago. So here's the game that I invented this myself, and it's based on the life of Al Capone about 100 years ago in the 20s. If you ask anybody, even to this day, 100 days later, what's Al Capone known for? And so I know there's a delay of response here on the videos, and most people, thanks to Facebook, don't even get to watch them live, but you can watch on the replay, so I won't wait for answers. But ask yourself, if you had to think what's Al Capone known for, you'd probably name about a dozen crimes. I mean, gun running and prostitution and gambling, bribery of public officials, and illegal weapons possession and perjury and murder and assault and battery, breaking and entering, conspiracy, RICO, I mean, just on and on and on and on. And yet, even though I'm guessing that especially in Chicago, but probably all over America, if not the world, 100 years ago, everybody knew he was extremely notorious, well-known criminal. Everyone knew that he was a murderer and a gangster and bribing officials and running guns and illegal bootlegging, illegal alcohol through prohibition and prostitution and all kinds. Everyone knew all these crimes he was always committing. And yet, what did he get put away for and go to prison that ended his career and basically ended his life? I should have looked it up, but I remember they let him out early of his term because he was dying, and they let him just go die on the outside of prison, which he did soon after being released. But he basically, his prison term ended his life in the early 30s, and that was for income tax evasion. Income tax evasion! Not really on the list. If you say, what's Al Capone most known for? I mean, of course, it is after the fact. Now we know, he's known for, they got him on income tax evasion. But, man, while he was alive, what was he known for? If you saw him on the street or in a restaurant, you go like, there's Al Capone. You wouldn't say, oh watch out. Don't make him angry because he's an income tax evader. It would be like, holy crap, watch out. There's Al Capone, the most notorious gangster, murderer, assault, battery, prostitution, gambling, bribery, you name it, he does it. And the same nowadays with the criminals, with the Teflon Don and the Whitey Bulger. These notorious criminals. And this movie after movie made of Scarface with his name, like banging heads with a baseball bat and just having but they always have their underlings do the actual crimes most of the time. Like, kill the people or shoot them or beat them up or whatever they do. And that's the point of the Al Capone game. Here's how it works. You substitute the name Al Capone for any name of any government official, elected, unelected, swamp dweller, outsider, whatever you want to call them, that you hear in the news that you're frustrated by, that these people should be held accountable. Trump should get impeached, and Hillary should be accountable for deleting all those emails, and James Comey for falsifying the warrants and the whatever, and like McCabe and Strzok and McConnell and Biden and on and on. And these are all such, incredibly corrupt criminals. But when you substitute the name Al Capone and you think back to 100 years ago, that's probably how people talked about Al Capone. If there was cable TV, there was social media, they'd be coming on cable news and they'd be going like, obviously, this is it. The walls are closing in on Al Capone. This is it. That last murder. They're going to get him for murder now. No, they never got him for murder. They're going to get him from gun running now. Obviously, he's gun running. There's photos of him. There's video. There's audio. There's people watching. There's 100 witnesses. No, never got him for that. He's bribing all the officials and all the judges and all the way. No, never got him for that. So, in case you think that Trump or Hillary or Biden or Comey or McCabe or McConnell or any of these criminals are ever going to be held accountable for their obvious, well-known crimes, forget about it, as they would say in the Al Capone days. And Patricia's here, good seeing you. So that's the Al Capone game, folks. Just picture you're saying like, man, one of these, that's it. The final hammer has come down and Al Capone's going to be held accountable now for all those murders. No, he's not. So Trump's not going to be held accountable for all of his crimes, and Hillary's not going to be accountable for all of her crimes, and McConnell and Biden and Comey and McCabe and whatever. And no one's going to be held accountable for all their stuff. So get over it and stop letting it get you all deranged. Just think about, holy crap, this is the country, this is the judicial system that could not even convict Al Capone of murder or prostitution or gambling or gun running or bribery or assault or battery or all the obvious, notorious, open, well-known, obvious crimes that, of course, he committed or directed people to commit. And this is the country that, what did they get him on? Income tax. He didn't file income taxes. Well, here's a hint. If Mitch McConnell and Joe Biden and Trump and Hillary and Comey and the rest of them all file their income taxes, guess what? They're going to walk around scot-free for the rest of their life. No one's holding anyone accountable, not in this country. That's not the way it works. It works that way for you and me. Heck, if I go through a traffic light, I'm in trouble. But for the rich and the powerful, like, forget it. You can murder your wife in cold blood if you're OJ. You can commit every crime you want if you're a Washington politician. You could do anything you want. In our judicial system, you're not held accountable. It's just the way it is. So have some fun with it. Play the Al Capone game, and maybe you'll realize that there is no hope for any of these notorious political or government official criminals ever being held. They all know how to slink out of everything. They all know how to deny and say, I forgot, and to the best of my recollection, and and deny, and yeah, but, and that guy, witness, I mean, everyone around these people are criminals. Their stuff is so well known, and yet they got a way of slinking out. You don't think James Comey knows how to slink out of committing crimes? He was the head of the FBI, for crying out loud. He knows better than anyone. Well, they all do. Trump and Hillary and Biden and all the rest of them, they all know how to slink out of all their crimes. They're just going to keep committing them. So you and I, stop being deranged over all that stuff. Have fun with it. Play the Al Capone game if it helps. Think of Al Capone and realize they couldn't even catch that guy. They're certainly not catching any of these guys for a phone call or, saying we want a favor from what? Is that murder? Is that prostitute? You're not catching anybody. Oh, deleted her emails. James Comey. Oh, he said a thing was verified, but it wasn't really. What? You're not catching none of these people for none of this stuff. So get over it. Get back to your life. Have fun. It's Sunday Fun Day. And get ready to get back to work. We got 2 weeks left in the year and 2 weeks left in the decade. And then why don't we hit the ground running in 2020 and in the new 20s. I was just talking about the 20s, the roaring 20s, 1920s. What's the 2020s going to mean for you, for your business, for your employees, for your suppliers, for your customers, clients, patients, members, your family, charities you want to give to, good you want to do in the world? That's what you ought to focus on, and stop focusing on all these criminals who, of course, are never going to get caught. And by all means, don't allow yourself to get deranged by them. That's what they want. Watch it for entertainment, laugh at it, play the Al Capone game, get back to the things that really matter in life. That's it. That's the end of the rant for Sunday Fun Day. Thanks for being here live. Thanks everyone watching on the replay. I'll be back tomorrow on Direct Mail Monday. I wonder if Al Capone ever committed mail fraud. Probably. Definitely was not caught for that either. Catch you tomorrow. Over and out. Bye-bye.